Hello, it's Tomasue. Welcome back to episode 3 of Satisfactory. As you may already see in the background, I've been busy. In this video, I'll take you through the making of the factory, which you can see in the background, which creates 20 modular frames, 20 encased industrial beam, 20 motors, and 20 stators. First thing I did was to set up 5 miners mining about 1.2k iron per minute, and then send these into 40 different smelters which produce us 1.2k iron per minute. After I set up this, I then started setting up the foundation, and over in that direction we are setting up our steel part of the factory, and the steel will then go into the second part over here, producing the necessary steel pipes. And then we'll be also setting up the miners over in this location and in the woods over there, getting the limestone necessary for the encased industrial beams. In this area we'll be producing our iron components, so iron wire and iron plates and iron rods and reinforced iron plates, using about 780 iron per minute. Next I set up 2 miners to get 380 coal per minute. We need to combine with 380 iron ingots per minute to produce 570 steel per minute, using the alternate recipe solid steel ingot in the foundries. So now I'll have to place down the foundries we need. We need about, I think it's 9.5 foundries. So we'll place down about 10 foundries here. And then we'll move on to placing down the constructors for our iron pipes. Okay, now we'll start to place down the necessary constructors, which will be 19 constructors constructing steel pipes. And we'll be producing or constructing about 380 steel pipes a minute, I'm pretty sure, where 5 of these are going to the alternate recipe for encased industrial pipes, 180 will be going to stators, and 80 will be going to steel rotors, so the alternate recipe for rotor. Okay, so I got a bit carried away and placed down the assemblers for encased industrial beam, and then I also set up the limestone going into the constructors needed to make the concrete to feed into the encased industrial beams. Okay, so I've placed down all the constructors we need for our iron production, and since we need around 41 producing iron wire, we need 5 more producing iron plates and also 8 more producing iron rods. We ended up with quite a lot of constructors here, so I made them into 2 layers, and then the iron wire and plates are going up here into those assemblers you saw, creating some stitch reinforced plates, which will then go up to the top level there and be combined with rods to make modular frames. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to place down the assemblers for our steel rotors, so you can see the 8 assemblers right there creating our steel rotors. These steel rotors will then go to this top level, creating our 20 motors a minute. Next, after having placed down the 8 assemblers for the rotors, I started working on the shape of the final production area. As you can see, ended up with, I think it's called like a rhombus shape. So currently this floor will be the logistical part of the floor, and then I'll add a 4-meter wall most likely and make basically the same shape above it, which will be where the assemblers for the final production will be. As you can see, I've now placed down most of the logistics from all of the machines and all around, so all of the resources are going to the right places and most of the belts are in place. Now the main thing is just hooking up a few of the production machines And then also on top I have now placed down the assemblers we need up here. It's 12 stators on that side, 4 motor assemblers in the middle, and then on the opposite side there's 10 assemblers for modular frames. Since I'm spending so much time building the factory over there, I'll just set up a simple smart plating setup, utilizing all of the extra material we have laying around, or the rotors and the reinforced plates, so we can start getting ready to turn this in at the end of the episode to complete phase 2. Hooked up all the wires and everything to every machine, as you can see, consuming about 800 megawatts. And now also with the power switch hooked up, we have the ability to turn on like the whole factory with just this power switch. And then when I turn it on now, we'll start to produce like most of the stuff. I haven't finished all the connections for the final assembly on the top for the motors and encased beams and modular frames, etc. So as you can see now, we are closing in on our maximum capacity. So in episode 4 we'll have to work on most likely a turbo fuel factory, is my hope. But we'll have to see what kind of locations we're able to find. I'd forgotten to hook up the constructors for our concrete, so I'll just quickly show you how I hooked up most of the constructors in a neat-ish fashion, but it would be better if we were able to research the new thing in 1.2, which is the ability to daisy chain machines, but I won't be able to do that before phase 2 is complete and we are able to create the necessary components to research it. So what I do then is I just take these H-beams and I make a line quite close to the machines, and then we'll connect the wall mounts next to the constructors, and then connect the constructors and connect the wall mounts to each other. And doing it this way, then we're able to make it look a bit more tidy without having to have the power poles standing right next to them. So I'll finish up everything like this, and then I think our next stage is to start working on the aesthetics of the buildings. So I'll most likely give you just a montage once the builds are slowly being done. Okay, the last thing we're gonna do in this episode is to turn in phase 2, so I'll quickly grab all of the necessary things. I just had them being created in the background as I was doing my thing, so we have the 10,000 smart plating, 10,000 vertical frames, and the 100 automated wires. So you'll see me now putting this in to complete phase 2, and then in the next episode we'll most likely focus on expanding our power production, as we are already hitting the cap with the factory we just built. So I think that will be one of the main priorities of our next episode, and then also cleaning up our starting area most likely. So with this we're going to be sending it up, and then I would like to thank you for watching the video and hope that you enjoyed. And until next episode, I hope you are having a wonderful day.
Send